Hey guys, this is demo lesson number 3, and we are going to create a cloud in a jar. This is actually a mystery science lesson with Doug. If you've ever done mystery science, you know he's fantastic. So the lesson kind of starts out with an exploration, about 16 minutes, and then you have a hands-on activity, which is what this is, and along with your supplies, you have a kettle to boil water, so that way you have hot water for the kids. And then you have a wrap-up 4-minute activity in the end. Okay, so what you're going to have the kids do is first make an observation of what they can see through the glass. So you have what they call, I was going to write it here, but it'll be backwards, so that would be helpful. It's like a gas tester or a tester. So you would put the piece of paper that has words on it on one side of the jar, and they would look through and they would read the words in the jar. Now, what they're going to get from this is they can read everything through the jar because they can see through the jar. Then you take your hot water, keep the kids away. Does this come on? You were going to pour water into the jar, and then you were going to have them close the jar. And what that does is it traps the water vapor, and you're creating clouds. Of course, you don't tell them that. So then you have them make observations with your supplies. You have these little magnifying glasses, so you will have them observe. Would you like to observe? So your kids are going to look. I tell them not to touch the table, so that way if they rock it, they won't cause, you want them to see precipitation later. So you have them observe, and then you do that tester strip again on the other side of the jar, and then you have them try to read through it again. After they realize that they can't read through the jar, you have them, there's a worksheet that comes with it. It's called Gas Trap. And on the worksheet is a place where they can draw what they see. So the magnifying glass helps where they can kind of go through. I tell them they can't scribble, but what they'll typically see, some of them will try to draw a whole bunch of little round bubbles because that's what they see. But just dots to represent that the condensation on the inside of the jar. After that, they have you have the student slowly take the lid off the jar, and these are probing questions at the end. Have them sit down the lid, then you fill inside the jar. And what does it feel like? Warm and moist and muggy. And then you have them do the same thing with the lid. And what they should feel is it's much cooler. So what they learn from this is that clouds are created from the water vapor, from evaporation, rises up the atmosphere, and then it cools, which is what happens when it hits the lid. It condenses and it creates clouds.